A Receiptful presentation. How Ariana Grande stole Mariah Carey's persona, voice, and career. Imitation versus inspiration. Calling all Lambily and Arianators to the front. Did we wake up and choose violence yet again? Wouldn't be the first time we done so, but I promise this one here is a good one. When biracial pop princess Ariana Grande came out with her 2013 debut hit single, The Way, listeners couldn't help but notice that she sounded way too similar to one of the greatest to ever do it, Queen Lamb herself, actual biracial Mariah Carey. Since Ariana bulldozed her way into the pop culture hemisphere, the Mariah Carey comparisons have been non-stop, even a decade after her debut. From Ari's breathy singing style to, of course, that recognizable whistle register, not only had Ariana fans hailed her as a successor to Mimi, but apparently so did Spotify and even her team, who low-key pushed her to be the next Mariah, despite Ari herself and her fans denying the blatant thievery. Since the moment their pint-sized fave broke out into the industry, Mariah fans were consistent on letting y'all know that one of these beautiful ladies was an imposter, and it ain't Mariah. So we're bringing out the CVS-length receipts to confirm whether or not Ariana Grande's career was built on the glorious back of Mariah Carey's. Ooh-wee, it's about to get real messy up in here. If you're sensitive, I advise you click off the video now, cause we're not holding back for nothing. Facts are facts, alright? And the fact of the matter is, Ariana Grande would not be where she is today if she wasn't out here cosplaying as a biracial Mariah Carey clone. Artists of all walks of life get their inspirations from somewhere. In fact, all the greats do it. Michael Jackson was influenced by James Brown and Fred Astaire. Beyonce was influenced by Tina Turner and Janet Jackson. Janet was inspired by Mike. Britney inspired by Janet. And so on and so forth. Since the beginning of the music industry, labels have pushed their signed artists to get inspo from the icons, the legends, and even the underdogs. Since the beginning of her career, Beyonce has always stated Tina was her biggest inspiration. Michael always stated James Brown was his. And the other legends are sure to vocalize just how much their faves have inspired them. So what's so different about Ariana Grande and Mariah Carey? Since her acting debut on Nickelodeon's hit series Victorious, starring Victoria Justice playing the role of Tori, a teen girl attending a performing arts school with her friends Beck, Robbie, Jade, and Kat to assist each other on whatever shenanigans they find themselves into that episode. Katrina, the artificially dyed, talented, and probably the smartest bimbo you'd ever come across, played by no other than Ariana Grande, became a fan favorite pretty quickly, thanks to her unconventional hair color, a choice suggested by show creator Dan Schneider, personality, and beautiful face. As popular as Kat was on the show, Ariana herself was equally as popular outside of the show's constraints. When she wasn't playing the role of Kat Valentine, Ariana was being Ariana, utilizing the internet and social media to showcase not only her off-screen antics via her YouTube channel, Oh Snap It's Ari, but her vocals, giving us covers like Adele's Rolling in the Deep, Someone Like You, Alicia's If I Ain't Got You, Beyonce's If I Were a Boy, and even Mariah Carey's Emotions. This would be the moment everything would change, and where the Mariah Carey comparisons had begun. The year is 2012, and everyone's obsession with Ariana Grande was in full throttle. You couldn't log into Pinterest without seeing that recognizable girly. Two-piece get-up, curly brunette, half updo plus side bang, and playful poses Ari would have on display to her millions of Instagram followers. Before the ending of Victorious, Ariana had cultivated a mass fan base for herself. Those dimples, doe eyes, and witty personality kept the girlies in a trance, and she was truly seen as the 2010s it girl. So you can bet when super manager Scooter Braun, the same man credited for managing Justin Bieber, began managing Ari after being signed to Republic Records back in 2011, Ariana Grande's popularity soared to new heights. She wasn't just a pretty girl with the nice YouTube covers, known for being the profile pic to many people's Twitter and IG accounts. She was now the Ariana Grande, global pop princess and icon in the making. After some label issues of her own, Jordan Sparks teamed up with fellow artists like Seven Streeter to write what would later become Ariana's debut single, The Way. The mellow vibe sampled Big Pun's I'm Not a Player, and a low-budget video gave us the relatability factor Ariana fans loved her for. The video displays Ariana jamming out in a disco-lit room, filled with balloons and people, giving us what would later become her doll-eyed, dreamy, sensual stare into the cam's lens, finished off with an unexpected high note that would become her signature staple in her career. The famous whistle note, although not solely bound to the one and only, but heavily popularized by the one and only Mariah Carey, or Mrs. Number Ones, if you will. Ariana's pop R&B track, paired with her sultry relationship with the camera, airy vocals, and whistle registers, gave ammunition to the Mariah versus Ariana comparisons. And comparison is exactly what y'all did. Every time Ariana performed The Way, Mimi's name was brought up, and it seemed as if you couldn't go to Mariah-related video on YouTube without Ariana being mentioned in the comments by her millions of diehard Arianators. Given that Ariana's own team practically deemed her the next Mariah Carey, something she never denied directly, it didn't sit right with Mariah's Lambily at all. They were not here for Little Miss Ponytail or her lip-sync whistle notes, being compared to one of the greatest artists of all time. Singer, astounding songwriter, and overall musician Mariah was a lover of music and artistry. Mariah got her breakout start in the 90s under the guise of Columbia Records' Tommy Mottola, which we ain't finna talk about cause this ain't about him. Mariah's first debut single, Vision of Love, shot to #1 on Billboard charts, compared to Ariana's The Way peaking at #9. Mariah Carey, at just 19, broke record after record with her first 5 singles, all peaking at #1. Following Ariana's global success with The Way, if you thought the Ariana impersonators and lookalikes were bad before, they'd be amped during AG Global takeover. This is also where we notice a blatant difference in not only Ariana's fashion, but also her skin color. When a tanning lady asked Ariana what shade of black she wanted, I guess Ari said, "Surprise me." Ari popped out the tanning booth looking every inch of tan Barbie, a complete 180 from her blatantly pale skin we'd seen on Victorious, which wasn't an issue at first. The issue would come much later on in her career, before releasing her debut album, Yours Truly. The original title of Ariana's debut studio album was titled Daydreamin'. Ring a bell? If you said it sounds like the name of Mariah's 5th studio album, then you're correct. Mariah's 5th studio album, Daydream, spawned the hits Fantasy, One Sweet Day, Always Be My Baby, and Underneath the Stars. Which, if you know anything about music, then you already know Fantasy would peak at #1, with One Sweet Day meeting the same fate, becoming the longest running #1 in US history for 23 years. After receiving backlash from not only the album name, but the overexposed image of Ari wearing a lingerie corset with stockings surrounded by roses, giving every bit of Lolita realness. By this point in Ariana's career, the Mariah Carey comparisons were never ending, even down to the way she performed on stage. Ariana fans seemed to be real adamant about their fave not biting for Mimi. However, with Ariana's next batch of videos, and even producers, the Arianators just couldn't deny it any longer, and you already know they tried. Who you gonna believe, us or your eyes? Well, let's take a look. After breaking up with Nathan Sykes following their 5-month romance after recording a duet in Almost Is Never Enough, giving every inch of Mariah and Boyz II Men's One Sweet Day, the next single off of Yours Truly was the Big Sean featured hit, Right There. Coincidentally enough, we'd find out Sean and Ariana were dating during that time. In the Right There music video, the plot takes place at a masquerade ball, with Ariana looking for that special someone in the crowd. Cute, though oddly similar to a certain someone's music video with the exact same plot, movements, scenes, you name it. The Lambs were quick to point out the blatant pull from Mariah's It's Like That music video. Even the mirror scene where Mariah applies powder to her neck seemed to have inspired Ariana, as she does the exact same thing in her music video. It was more than obvious Ariana was biting Mariah Carey's, well, her everything, or my everything. I'll see myself out. Ariana's next single, Baby I, appeared to draw inspo from Mariah's R&B pop sound and overall early 2000s R&B, more in particular. Ashanti's single, Baby, on top of the whistle note, Ariana's doll-eye stare and batting of the lashes she tends to give the camera in each and every single music video screams Mariah, given that's exactly what Mariah did/does in her music videos, evidence being in, well, majority of her music videos. In 2014, Ariana's second studio album, My Everything, dropped in August, and right away, the Lambs were back at it. noticing the album's similar name to their Mimi's My All. Problem, featuring Iggy Azalea, would become Ariana's first single from the album, peaking at number 2, and Ariana fans were sure that Ari's new album, leaning towards the pop route, meant that she'd put the Mariah Carey obsession behind her. But when Ari popped up with the choreo at the Radio Disney Music Awards, Lambs noticed something in Ari's Problem choreography that mimicked Mariah Carey's a little too much. The dance number towards the ending of Mariah's Honey music video, where she had that high ponytail and white ensemble on the boat while swinging her arms in and out. Well, apparently Ari's choreographer thought of the same exact dance move. Aside from the album title, yet again, fans were quick to point out Ariana's music video for her single Love Me Harder, featuring The Weeknd, and let's just say the moody video set looked way too similar to Mariah's music video for her hit single My All. Speaking of Honey, apparently Mariah's entire Honey music video would be the sole inspiration behind Ariana's next single on the My Everything album, Break Free. The song itself leaning towards a more pop/EDM route thanks to Zed's collaborative efforts, the fantasy-like Break Free video stars Ariana as a Bond-esque girl, escaping from the bad guys on a mission to save her friends from the evil alien people. And yes, that's as good of a description I can think of. Mariah Carey's music video for Honey also stars Mariah as a Bond-esque girl escaping from the bad guys, but of course, that's not where the similarities end. Aside from both music videos starting out with a written message about what the vid will be about and what took place up till the beginning of each music video, we also noticed similar background scenarios. The futuristic tube popularized heavy in the late 90s that you see Mariah standing in, Ariana can be seen standing in a similar setting, with hers being all white. The dance break/party at the end of each video also speaks for themselves. Ariana seemed to have taken a lot of inspo from the Honey music video. In the Honey music video alone, we see Mariah sporting the voluminous high pony with the side bang, the dreamy sequence where she's in front of the white sheet, batting her doe-like eyes at the camera. Sound familiar? And overall essence of the music video, even down to the way Mariah casually moves around on set. Not able to dodge the speculations any longer, interviewers daringly asked Mariah herself what she felt about the comparisons. One interview being on The Breakfast Club, and in short, Mariah basically said, "Good luck with that." When informed by radio host Charlemagne that Jay-Z hates being compared, Mariah responded with, "Jay says a lot of things I agree with." Aside from using the same producers and writers Mariah used back in the 90s and early 2000s, although Ariana is still insanely popular, 10 years after her debut, Ari hadn't been mainstream for a solid 2 years before the diva antics kicked in, and for the Mariah Carey comparisons to be kicked up hella notches. During 2014, fans noticed a drastic change in Ariana's on-camera personality, what they deemed as outrageous diva-like demands. The way she spoke to reporters and the media in general was met with much sass. The AAVE was on full display, and we can't forget her infamous "only film me on my left side" era she was consistent with, backed by E! Network's Juliana Rancic's recollection at the American Music Awards. "I feel like where there is smoke, there is fire," Juliana said, referencing Ariana's other bullying-like behavior and diva ways. When E! News were set up to interview Ariana on a red carpet, Juliana and co. claimed that Ariana went on to Juliana, elbowed her in her side to switch positions so that Ariana could be filmed from her left side. It was like, you either get on the other side or we don't do an interview. It's one thing if it's Mariah Carey. I'll get on any side. I'll bend down. I'll climb a ladder. I'll do whatever it takes. But when you're new on the block, trying to earn your stripes, you gotta do what you gotta do. Try to earn a great reputation. Try to go overboard to please people. During press day in Australia, the media was giving a list of off-limits topics. On that list, the top being Mariah Carey. The media was only allowed to film her left side and were banned from using natural lighting. One look at Ari's Instagram back in 2013 through 2016 can confirm the rumors that she does in fact like to be shot only on her left side. Even her magazine covers and shoots can confirm this. Allegedly, Ariana even stormed out of a photo shoot when she didn't like her top, and when a photographer Chris Palvich put her on blast, Ari went around doing damage control. One interview being on Australian radio show Mike, E, and Emma, you'll notice that the interview is only filmed on her left side. Well, what a coincidence. Mariah also only prefers being photographed from one side of her face. Her side just so happens to be the right side. Although we must say, Mimi doesn't have a bad side, and neither does Ariana. In 2016, during an episode of Mariah's World on the E! Network, Mariah opened up about why she only likes to be photographed on her right side. When she was 19, during her first photo shoot, a woman on set told her that the right side was her good side, and to only let people shoot from that side. I don't hate it. I don't hate it when it's well lit. They just have to light it. Again, sound familiar? Lambs know of Mariah's right side only trademark and noticed right away when Ariana began incorporating the same trademark. By the time Ariana's third album, Dangerous Woman, came around, and she noticed how the Diva theatrics weren't working in her favor, Ariana drew away from the Mariah Carey mood boards, diving into a more pop, dance, house, trap route. By this point, Ariana had cemented her position in pop culture history, and the influence Mariah had on her appeared less and less noticeable as time continued on. We got to see more of Rihanna and less of Mariah. By the time her groundbreaking Thank You Next came along, Ariana, although still inspired by Mariah and probably forever will be, appeared to take on the mannerisms of her longtime friend and songwriter behind some of her biggest hits, Victoria Monet. Around this time is where the Goyles started to call out Ariana heavily on her appropriation of Black culture, style, slang, and even skin color, noticing that she appeared to have gotten darker and darker. Some going as far to say that Ariana was in full-on blackface in her Thank You Next music video. Others in the past claimed to not even realize Ariana was a full-on white girl, with others suggesting Scooter Braun and Nim made her tan to appear more racially ambiguous. You know, like Mariah. I guess Ari got the hint because she'd pop up a year later, pale skin on full display, looking every bit of Korean Idol. Ariana appears to have fully come into her own diva antics aside, tan aside, and has an overall better relationship with her fans. As time passed, and what we've co-opted as Mariah Carey season in favor of Christmas, Mariah supposedly had grown to like Ariana as an artist and person, even asked her to be in a compilation video for Mariah's hit Christmas single, Do I Have to Say It? All I Want for Christmas Is You. As seen in Ariana's 2020 Netflix documentary special, Excuse Me, I Love You, Scooter informs Ari via FaceTime that Mariah had gotten in contact with him wanting Ariana to do a fun vid to her song. Does that mean she likes me? Ariana asks, to which Scooter replies, yes. A lot. We see Ari get on the task immediately, setting up her phone right then and there before she and associate Scott began goofing off and dancing to Mariah's song. We also see Ariana get pretty emotional, considering that one of her all-time faves asked her to be part of the project. Fans were in for a huge treat when Ariana not only popped up in Mariah's 2020 Christmas jingle, Oh Santa, featuring Jennifer Hudson, but the two even harmonized whistle notes towards the nearing of the song. Needless to say, Ariana was ecstatic, overjoyed, over the moon, starstruck, all that. You already know Ari put on one of the best vocal performances of her career, and despite the number of takes it took to shoot the music video, that adorable smile on Ariana's face and childlike glee in her eyes never left her pretty face. In the beginning of Ariana Grande's career, it was apparent that she and her people used Mariah Carey's likeness and career as the biggest muse for Ariana's own career. Nothing wrong with inspiration, but contrary to the infamous saying everybody likes to reiterate, imitation is not always the biggest form of flattery, especially if the one you're imitating wants no parts. Ariana downplayed just how huge of an impact Mariah had on her career, so much so that she didn't even want to give Mariah her props for inspiring the entire first half of her career, while simultaneously copying Mimi to a T. We didn't go over other instances of Ariana being inspired by Mariah, like her fashion choices, red carpet looks, and music videos, like the Jessie J and Nicki Minaj collab track Bang Bang, where Ariana is seen posted up in that white ensemble in front of the neon lit palm trees. Lambs know exactly what I'm talking about. No, Ariana didn't actually steal Mariah's career. I beg for y'all not to take the title too seriously. It's without question that Mariah and Ariana are both cool with each other. It's absolutely fine to be inspired by others. It's never fine to straight copy an artist's entire persona, and downplay the impact they had on your own career. Ariana Grande has created a remarkable career for herself, and I must say, 2023 Ari is the best she's ever seen. Y'all think Ariana's team told her to downplay Mariah's indirect involvement in Ariana's career? Let us know your thoughts and opinions down below in the comments, and stay tuned for more true celebrity stories.